So I am so excited to have you on. We actually first met yesterday, which was so amazing. I loved having you in and loved training you. I feel like we just instantly clicked. And yeah, I don't know how we first I guess Pia told me how amazing you are.
Oh, I love that.
I know, she's the best. And I also listened to you on, is it Sif's Dream Bigger podcast? Was that one?
It might have been Liv Perez or Ariel.
I listened to you on Pia's pod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
She's the best.
She is.
So thank you so much for joining me. We did Pilates yesterday together and then we just sat on the mat chatting and I could have chatted to you for hours. So I'm really excited to just go back. I want to know how you got into this crazy world and how you basically now became like the fact that you have these billboards everywhere that says, just ask Gab. That's what they say, right?
They do, yes.
How did you get to that?
Amazing. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be speaking with you. And gosh, it's been quite the journey. 6 years is how long I've been doing the sourcing work for now. So I started the company 6 years ago from Australia in Sydney.
Wow.
And I moved to Los Angeles in 2021. So 3 years ago now, which is crazy. It's gone so quick.
That's crazy.
Yes. But I realized pretty early on that I was onto something and that not only that, but I felt so much passion for it. I've been in the fashion industry before this, like dabbling in personal shopping and even styling, but I didn't have that heart on fire moment for it. And then when I discovered sourcing, I knew it was for me.
Okay. So how do you even become a sourcer? Because I guess you have to have like relationships with all the brands, all the people to kind of like have your finger in so many different pies and to be that person where they trust you. How did you build those relationships?
Yeah, it was tricky in the beginning, I will say. I think it was a mix of A, I was down in Australia, and B, I wasn't a luxury consumer myself. I definitely wasn't a VIP with the brand. So I really was a stranger going in saying, hi, can I have your most in-demand item? So it was hard at the start and I definitely got a lot of rejection, but I think it really goes back to building relationships. To me, it's really a fundamental part of being a good person. And I felt that happened very organically for me. I consider myself to be very kind and everything like that. So I just felt that really helped in developing those, especially with, international markets that had never heard of me. So
yeah, you're so right. That personal connection, I think people really value, and people often overlook. It's just as simple as being a nice person.
Yes.
And I felt that instantly from you. So I can vouch for that. But so you would walk into a store, let's say you're in Chanel. Would you ask to speak to someone, talk to them and build a relationship from there?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I did. I used to physically go into the boutiques, and I remember just I was quite shy, I will say. It was hard for me to ask for what I wanted, which is kind of 6 years on. I feel that that's certainly changed a little bit. I'm much more I've built the confidence to be able to ask and things like that. But I was quite shy, and so I do remember vividly walking in and asking to speak with someone that could assist me. At that time, I was referring to myself as a personal shopper. I didn't know this term sourcer. And I will say there's a very clear distinction between what a personal shopper is and what a fashion sourcer is.
Tell me.
Yes. So I love talking about this topic because it is, just something that I love, and it's an industry that I'm obviously so passionate about. But personal shopping is more outbound. So it means that the individual, the personal shopper, is recommending to their client options, whether they're taking them shopping in store or they're doing it digitally, saying, here's a bunch of new arrivals. This is what I recommend for your wardrobe. So it's a lot of outbound work, and kind of that's the relationship. The flip side of it is the fashion sourcer, and we work by request. So it means that the client knows exactly what they're looking for. They don't need the suggestions. They just need someone to find it. And that's how I work, essentially.
And you prefer that much more to the personal shopping side of things. What made you decide to go down the sourcer route rather than?
I think number one, I really wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that didn't yet exist. I've always had that desire. I think it's stems from growing up in a really small town in Australia, and I wanted to stand out a little bit growing up. And so I've had that desire to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
So I think that was a huge part of it, of wanting to do something different. And then I just feel it is like the thrill of the chase is something that I love. And I feel that.
Really?
Yes. Like the feeling after finding something is it's a very rewarding feeling. Exactly. And so I love finding, I love discovering, I love searching. So I think having that as like a natural personality trait, it's just, it's very much aligned with sourcing. I think sourcing is hard. I don't have a magic wand. It's not very easy to find everything that I do. So you really have to have that determination to not stop and just keep going. And then when you do find it, it's a very good feeling.
Satisfying.
Yes.
It must be crazy to come from kind of the girl that lived in this small town in Australia to the girl in LA that everyone says, well, if you want that, just ask Gab. Like, how is it? Is that so weird for you to kind of, do you ever get imposter syndrome?
I would say it's definitely a weird feeling. I think that, to me, it's sort of, I don't know if weird's the right word. It's so surreal. It's how I always think of my 16-year-old self. And I'll often think of that whenever I'm having a big moment or something, is happening. I think I just cannot believe that this is my life.
Your life.
Yeah. I never in a million years even thought that I would be in fashion, let alone
doing
the full career that I have. Yeah.
And fast forward now, you have a team of how many people?
There's 10 of us now.
Okay.
In total. Yes. So I have my 2 full-time team members. One's operations and one's like my general manager. The general manager I only recently hired for within the past 3 months, and that has been the biggest game changer. It's really, I think, one thing I will say is I held on to a number of tasks perhaps too long, and it is my baby, so of course I wanted to kind of have control on that. But I think an important part of scaling is to be able to know when to let go, and it's been such difference. She is incredible. She's in Australia. But yeah, that's been a game changer for myself personally and for the business already. And then the remainder of the team are my sourcing assistants.
So what does the general manager do that you've just hired, and what are your main responsibilities? Because I'm always so interested in business owners, how they kind of structure their team, their tasks, their clear kind of roles, and also time management. I think it's so hard when you're, especially for you, you're running this business through your phone.
Yes.
And it's non-stop, like it never sleeps. So how do you kind of structure your time and your team and those clear roles?
Yeah, so I love a good time block. I'm huge on time blocking. I think that's been a big help with kind of blocking out my day and figuring out what I'm going to do. I think for me also, Gab Waller, the company is a huge part of what I do. But outside of that, I have now Source By, and I also do, my work for IMG. So that's kind of more, partnerships and collaborations and things like that. So I do sometimes feel like I'm wearing 3 different hats, having 3 different jobs or positions per se. So yeah, a big thing that I did step back from it. And I mean, it may sound so little, but to me, it was the most important part. But I was still very active on DMs and speaking with clients every single day. And someone made a comment to me, someone very close to me, but they said, Gab, sometimes you act like the receptionist at your own company. And I was like, and I think that's because, I am the first person that some people would speak to when they DM gabwaller.com. And I think I had to really look at that and be like, I need to think bigger. And I think it was kind of just, it is my name. So I felt I had to let go of the idea that if you DM gabwaller.com, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
And once I let go of that, that has truly allowed me to flourish in other areas of my life, and then allowed to give the reins to the team.
Because I was really interested that the majority of your business is via DMs.
Exactly. Yes.
So that's so hard because often with like mental health and things, people talk about, you know, putting your phone away, having time like off your phone.
Yes.
How do you manage that when your phone is literally going off 24/7?
Yes.
How are you kind of building in time for you and that separation?
Yeah. So one thing I love is I create little power hours for myself. I love a power hour, and it's something my whole team kind of stands by, especially because, you know, I really could wake up in the morning and I could be on DMs all day and that would be my day. So I kind of need to be very strict with myself because the DMs are constant. They don't ever stop.
No.
So the power hour is really important to me, and I can like smash out DMs very quickly. So I smash them out of my little power hour, and then be able to move on. But I'm huge, and this is changes that I've made in my life only within the past year, but big things like at 8 p.m. I'll definitely put my phone down. I won't get back on the DMs at least. So that's a huge part, I think, of assisting, because on top of the DMs, it's a 24-hour business because I do have clients all over the world. So it's not as if we close per se at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
it's
that's
constant.
true.
So I think for me is the power hours have been super helpful, and then just holding myself accountable with actual finish times and
the time
abiding by them.
And the power hours, because I love a power hour. I think they're so good, and actually I do them on the weekends as well because I just think it's going to set me up for the week. Do you have like a certain focus for that power hour, or is it like to get through as much of your to-do list?
To me, it's the power hour I first really discovered through DMs. So I'll get into, it's going to sound weird, but I'll even get into like, I have a specific chair that I'll sit in because it's really me sitting there like powering through DMs. And I think
so you need to like take yourself away.
Exactly. I need to be in my zone, no distractions. So that's a huge thing. And then I think even with the emails as well, power hour for me is anything where I need to respond to a lot of things at once. Other tasks that I have, I think I don't want to rush. So for example, getting into more of like the admin side of the company, but I do a lot of international transfers. I'm sourced from all over the world. So I make payments from all over the world. And that's something that's not included in the power hour, but I do have a time block for that. So my team of shoppers know that at this time every day, Gab will be doing transfers.
And do you have like a journal or something that keeps you accountable, or are you very online?
So I am a paper gal. So
I am too. I love it.
Love a notebook. That's my to-do list.
It's the best.
It's so good. I've tried apps. I know there's a lot of, to-do apps and everything like that, and they're fantastic. But nothing beats the pen and paper for me.
It's so good. And that feeling of like ticking through.
Oh my God, isn't it the best feeling?
It's so
good. And then outside of that, I will say I'm super strict with my calendar. It's perfection. Very like clean, organized, everything. Again, time block is blocked in there, but I am a very organized person in general.
Do you put things like your workouts in your calendar? Or like free time?
I don't put free time. I could get better with the workouts. I think it was Lauren's podcast that I was listening to where she talks about her putting it in. I'm like, I think I should do that, because it'll be something such as the night before I'll say, okay, I'm doing a workout tomorrow, and then I'll add it in.
Yeah.
But I think I should go one step further and block it out for the week.
Yes. It feels good. I find it so therapeutic on a Sunday to just like enter it all in. And then I almost feel like good about myself that I've almost done it before I've done it, because I know I'm sticking to it. If it's in my calendar, I know I'll do it.
See, that's it. I have a rule of thumb. If it's in the calendar, I'll stick to it.
Yeah.
So there's nothing stopping me from blocking it out weekly.
Totally.
You've inspired me.
So considering your phone is just blowing up every minute of the day, what are like the items that are at the moment just what everyone wants?
What everyone wants. So we are entering fall.
Yes.
So I'm seeing the shift to a lot of suede, which is certainly not surprising. At this time of the year, it's everything from ready to wear to footwear to bags. Also, shearling is having its moment in the starting with fall. In terms of brands, what's popping off? The Row is still one of my number ones. The Margot has not slowed down at all. It's still by far one of my most requested bags.
And the brown suede, is that the most popular?
Exactly. Yes. What else? I actually just had my sales meeting with my GM just a couple of days ago, so this is fresh off my mind. One that may be surprising is, have you seen the Coach Empire bag?
No.
Oh, it was our best-selling bag in the past month.
No way.
Yeah. So to me,
what does it look like? Is it like a
big? It's like a tote. It almost could pass as. It's very similar to the Margot, which is shows kind of the interest in it. Yes, and there's a particular color called the Merlot, which is the only one that I've been sourcing. But at present, it's sold out. It's really popped off. So that's very surprising. And the one that I also do want to mention, the barn jacket.
Oh, yes.
So that jacket is the piece to have for fall. Every brand seems to be doing their interpretation of it. And, in the past, we've seen the bomber jacket or the blazer or whatever it may be kind of pop up. I remember like the Acne Studios bomber jacket from a couple of years ago. Yes, but this season it's the barn jacket.
And which brand do you think is doing the barn jacket the best?
The one that we've sold the most of is, again, you may be surprised, but it's a Polo Ralph Lauren one.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So Elsa Hosk just wore it. Mariana Hewitt wore it. So I tend to keep an eye on that.
That's good though, because I guess that's a more affordable price point than like the Row or something.
1,000%. Yes, exactly. Okay. Yes, Prada also did a really good one, but that I've been receiving a few requests for. But my best-selling one is the Polo Ralph Lauren.
And what do you recommend for like good dupes of those items? So like a good suede bag, a good barn jacket, some shearling. What are good affordable dupes?
Okay, Troops, what brands are on my radar? That's a very good question. I'm going to say I should know more about this. I feel like I'm also like so in like luxury world.
No, I know. You're so like sucked in with it. But I think I saw a nice brown suede. Was it in, because even like I have a really nice one from Totem, but even that price point, that's really going up.
It is.
Reformation, I think, have a good brown suede. Yeah, which is a little bit more.
Bag.
Yeah.
I'm trying. It's going to kill me. I think what's going to happen,
it'll come to you
as soon as I walk out. I'm like,
and then barn jackets, I think, is it Massimo Dutti have a good barn jacket? You had one. Where's your one from? ASOS.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, they're definitely some great options out there. Yeah.
What are your favorite affordable brands?
Favorite affordable brands. That's a great question. Also, what have I purchased recently? There's actually a UK brand that has just popped up on my radar. It's called Align, if I'm saying that correctly.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
ALIGNE.
Ooh.
If I'm saying that correctly.
For basics or
but also like ready to wear pieces as well, but not high priced. There's apologies. I think it's Arline, ARLINE. Does that ring a bell?
No. I'm gonna make a note of this.
I'm gonna send it to you. I wore a red blazer from their line just this week, and it got so many compliments, and it's not bad priced at all. It's very
Okay, that's a good tip. Okay, I'm gonna have a look. So now you are going into the world of AI.
Yes.
Which is so exciting. And it's come from like your own pain point within your own business, but you're offering a solution to so many others. So can you tell us all about Sourced By? I'm so excited.
Yes, amazing. I'm so happy to share more about it. So the idea has certainly been brewing for a number of years. It's not new to me that I knew as the business grew that we just did not have the technical platform to be able to support growth and to be able to assist in scaling.
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of pain points along the way, but one thing that has really stood out is behind the scenes, it is very time intensive and it's very manual. I think that's never really been shown. I think, from the front end, it looks working the magic.
Yeah, exactly.
But behind the scenes, there's a lot that happens. We use a lot of different platforms, and there's nothing out there that really is built specifically for sourcing, both in luxury and even in vintage sourcing. Speaking with different vintage sources, they're logging their requests in Excel to Notion to Asana. And I'm like, there has to be that all-in-one platform out there. So in March this year is when I got very serious about it and kind of really came up with the concept and created the product memo and built out essentially what is now known as Sourced By. And in terms of launch, we're probably still around 6 months away, but we have a completed MVP and the AI is amazing to see it working and to see it, using the text and image recognition to essentially we're saving up to at least 3 hours a day in manual work at present. Yeah.
And it's mostly focusing on, from the sourcer side, the logging and the pulling of the information that takes you so long to manually enter.
Exactly. That's it. Yes. Yeah.
And then from the brand side, the benefit is because you can have a brand and a sourcer side of the business, right?
Exactly.
You were telling me what would be the benefit to the brands. How can they use it?
Yeah. So we created 2 portals. One is the sourcer side. The other we've called Shopper. And that's essentially my team of sourcing assistants that are on the ground. The sourcer is the one that's speaking directly to the client. The shopper doesn't necessarily have a desire to do that. They just want to find and shop and buy the item.
Sorry, shopper I meant, not brand.
No, that's okay. So yes, the shopper they have their own portal they can jump on. I think one thing that has prevented me from scaling is at present in Asana, everyone can see all the client's details and things like that. So I've had to keep my team quite small. So to be able to scale that way, everything, the way the AI works is it picks up the request in this, and then in the sourcer portal, it drops, the client's details, but then it hides it from the shopper portal. So the shopper can see the request, they can add it into found, they can add the price.
This is going to be huge.
Yes.
And you think you're about 6 months away from launch?
I do, yes. Yeah.
So now with 2 businesses on the go.
Yes.
And you also, obviously, as you were just saying, you have the IMG side of things. So you have kind of 3 different things on the go. How are you managing your own health and wellness within all of that?
Yes. I would say, again, within the past year, I've made made it a huge focus. I think it was in December last year, I went away for 2 weeks to Palm Heights, which completely off topic, but that is such a beautiful hotel that I know
someone
you would love.
else told me about this.
Oh, it's amazing. It's
really
so incredible. It's just what I needed to end the year and then start the new year fresh.
Did you go on your own?
I did.
For 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking...
I love that.
Yeah, it was amazing, and I really needed it. At the end of the year.
Can you tell me the benefits of a solo trip just quickly, because everyone's talking about these solo holidays, and I really want to do one.
Oh, I couldn't recommend it more. If you're going anywhere, especially for a solo trip, I really would recommend Palm Heights because it's very wellness focused. They have a full spa, they have a full gym. So I think I just wanted to me, one thing that I do like to do at the end of the year, and no matter what, is to really reminisce, reflect back on the year that's been, and work out, not even work out, just kind of just be proud of what I've achieved in that year.
Take stock.
Exactly. And then really align myself for the year ahead. So focus on those goals. So I was spending a lot of my days doing that. I was reading a lot. I read multiple books. Of course, was at the spa and the gym and everything like that. But to me, it was like reflection and then refocus for the year ahead with a lot of reading in there as well. And I was tan, I was in the sun, the food's amazing. It just
resets you, doesn't it? And
it
like
really
you say,
does,
when you reflect on what's gone on, I think having a business as you do and having now 3 businesses, you often get kind of carried away on the hamster wheel of everything.
1,000%.
And there's not much time to actually look back and assess everything that's gone on, and then think about the direction of where you want to go, assess how the things that have gone on are going to help you in that way, or maybe there's some things that you need to do slightly differently. And I think having a solo trip is just incredible.
It was amazing. Yeah.
There's a real trend on solo holidays right now, which I love.
I love it. I'm all for it. And I will most likely do another one.
Do you think you'll go back there?
I want to. I even said to myself at the time, I was like, I'm going to make this an annual trip. Yeah. Even 2 weeks is extensive.
Yeah.
That's a a long time.
But nice.
But even a weekend, even a couple of days. But I will say it took me at least 4 nights, I'm going to say,
to actually start to relax.
Exactly. The first 4 nights, I felt that sense of guilt, which, perhaps I know is natural of, I shouldn't be here. Like, I should be working. What am I doing? Like, there's a bit, you flip that switch and it's like, no, this is actually benefiting me.
This is
in
productive.
The long run. Exactly. Because if I don't reset, if I don't, build my energy back up, then.
Then you're going to burn out.
Exactly.
And I'm really interested to know how, like, you seem so like into self-development and health and wellness. Was there anything that was there a catalyst of that? Was there like a book that you read or?
I would say for me, the reason, perhaps not a book as such, I do love reading, but I think the big thing for me is just knowing that in order to show up as my best self every day for my team and my clients and everyone that's around me, I need to look and feel my best on the inside. And so that's why I really wanted to prioritize it as a part of my life, because I definitely had moments where I kind of neglected myself a little bit and I wasn't showing up as my best self. I would perhaps, get extra stressed about in situations that could have, didn't need that amount of stress and things like that, reacting quicker than I could have been. So I think for me, that's when I was like, I need to prioritize this and to really, give myself that me time.
And what does me time look for you? What are the things that do you have any kind of things that you need to go to, tools that you work on every day?
Yeah. So I think for me time is, I definitely love something this year is yoga. I never used to be a yoga girl. I felt that it was a little bit too slow for me, but I love it. I love the stretching. The stretching for me is a really, really good form of,
a release.
Yes, exactly. So I love that. Love my Pilates, as you know. That's my absolute must. And then one thing I'm also loving, I've become a bit of a runner. I'm loving my runs.
That's amazing.
So I feel great doing those. And then I'm huge on self-care. So I always prioritize massages, facials, like those little beauty treatments.
Tell me what your must-have, like LA beauty treatments.
Oh, hands down lymphatic.
Yes.
I could talk about lymphatic drainage massages for
too.
the rest of my life. It's my favorite thing in the world.
It's so good. How often do you do them?
I do them at least every 3 weeks.
Okay.
I could even do them every 2 weeks, but definitely at least every 3.
And who do you see in LA, or do you want to gatekeep?
No. So I will say I share the love a little bit around a couple, but Detox by Rebecca is fantastic. The other one is NutriFae.
Oh, okay.
Who I also love. Everyone kind of uses different techniques, so I think that's also a great way
nice to do different. Yeah.
NutriFae is machine based, whereas Detox by Rebecca is hands.
Yeah.
So I like kind of mixing them up. To get a little bit of a different one.
And what are you doing for your skin?
So skin, I've definitely gone in waves with my skin of I get excited about trying new products, and I very thankfully do get sent new products to try and things like that, and I love the thought of it. But now that I'm 30 now, I've kind of just need to accept that my skin is very sensitive, and I can't be trying new products all the time. So I've gone back to what I've always used throughout my mid-20s, which is from a brand called Rationale.
Okay.
An Australian brand. And I've used them now for a very long time. And I've definitely gone off the path of trying different products. And I know they all have their benefits, but I think for me, the classic saying of like stick to what works.
Yes.
And so Rationale's
and sometimes just simplifying it. Doing too many. I don't use retinol or anything like that now. I'm not for me, it was just too much. So I've really gone back to basics.
Same. That's it. I've really gone back to basics. Yeah.
And can you, because I love following you and all your trips and all the like traveling you've been doing this year.
Yes.
You must have the best travel and packing tips.
Oh.
Give me your kind of how you pack, how you organize your outfits, your looks. How do you start planning for a trip?
Yes. Okay. I definitely have to give Pia credit for this one. And
I love her
know-
thing. It's so good.
Yes, you most likely know where I'm going with this, but Pia has this great method of I don't go to the point of trying the full look on, which Pia does do in some of her examples, but I'll map out every look for. So if I'm going for a trip for 3 days, I'll basically go into my notes. I'll type out every single thing that I've got going to the point of like airport look or gym look, whatever it may be, and then I'll drop a photo underneath it of what I'm going to wear for that. So what I'm packing is exactly what I'm planning on wearing.
And it was that photo is just like a flat lay of the clothes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, I don't go to.
I know. That's the one part of the thing that Pia does that I'm just like, I don't know if I have the energy to try it all on. But I like the idea of doing the flat lay.
Yes, flat lay is great. Yes.
Or the other thing that's good is when you wear an outfit that you love and you feel good in, take a selfie in the mirror. Not one that you need to like post or whatever, but just take a picture of it and then bank it in your outfits.
1,000%.
Because then sometimes when you lose kind of inspiration, you have to just go to it.
So true. This is a little bit off topic, but just a discovery that I realized this morning and something I'm excited about. I don't know what stage it's at, but I've always wanted to, how we have a million photos in our camera rolls. And for example, like this, I have selfies or mirror shots from, months ago, whatever it may be, that I have no idea how to find.
Yeah.
But Google is supposedly working on a platform where we can search our camera rolls, which I'm so excited for.
What do you mean? Like certain...
So say you could type in, find me the photo of myself wearing the yellow jacket from 2 months ago.
That would be so good.
How cool would that be?
Because I only quite recently discovered that you can search like a keyword and then it goes.
Yes, that's also a very cool function. Yes.
But that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
I love that.
That's good.
I think it's, I when I did my little digging, it said it's at waitlist stage. So hopefully they'll launch that soon. Yeah.
And do you use packing cubes?
I don't. I
just fold.
I just fold. Yeah. I use a lot of shoe dust bags for all my shoes and everything like that. And everything is packed inside something but to protect it. But I just don't use the packing cubes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a packing cube. It makes me feel so
What
organized.
brand do you like?
Muji.
Okay.
Yeah. Or there's actually another brand. I think it's Caravan, maybe. There's a brand on Selfridges that do they're quite like, they're not too rigid.
Okay.
But they're just rigid enough that you can literally take it out and then that stays in the drawer.
Oh.
You don't have to unpack it. You just take the cube out, unzip, and then it's there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a good tip.
Yes. Yeah, I do need to get into the packing cubes.
But the list is such a good one.
So great. Yeah, prior to that, it was kind of anything goes in the suitcase, and then the thought of having to style the outfit once you're there, and then you're like, I wish I had those shoes with me.
And then the worst thing, I hate when I hate overpacking now.
Yes.
I really like to.
Same.
I like to go on a trip where I wear everything, and then when I come home, there's nothing that wasn't worn.
1,000%.
It's annoying taking. You just want to simplify. Like, it's too much when you're doing, especially if you're traveling for work. You just want to get there, go and do your thing, and
I agree.
So, what are your must-haves right now that you have recently? What have you bought that you're loving and obsessed with, and what's on your wish list?
Okay, what have I bought and I'm loving? So this. I'm very into suede, like chocolate
blazer,
suede. Yeah, this blazer
this whole outfit is incredible.
Oh, thank you. So yes, brown suede is, I just want everything of that in my wardrobe. Yeah. I also, from the same designer, I have chocolate brown suede pants, like a loose trouser. That is one of my recent ones that I'm loving. And then in terms of wish list, I love Miu Miu so much. Miu Miu is my brand.
It's so good.
There's one bag that they've just come out with. It's leather, but around the edging, it's shearling. Comes in like this beautiful tan brown. So that bag
that's on your wish list.
Yes.
Miu Miu is doing so well.
They just know their customers so well, and they appeal to such a wide market, and it's hard not to love it.
And you have such a distinct brand identity. Where do you get your inspiration for that from? Where did that come from?
For just my personal style, or for gabwaller.com?
Gabwaller.com.
I would say that's a great question. I would say, so one thing that I did introduce, we rebranded about 2 years ago. I was previously, my full name is Gabrielle Waller, but then everyone knows me as Gab. So we rebranded to Gab Waller. And at that time, I redid my branding ever so slightly. But one thing we brought in was the color blue. And that is everywhere in the Gab Waller brand identity. And it's my happy color because it reminds me of being outside in the sun and then also by the beach. Like blue is that baby blue shade is my happy color. Nice. Yeah.
And did you create your own brand identity, or did you have an agency do it?
I worked with this lovely girl called Maddie. She's based in Australia. I believe she may also semi-work in New York and is based between the two. But her name's Madeline Fuller. Okay. And so she works as an independent graphic designer. And,
that's a good tip.
Oh, she could not recommend her highly enough. She was so fantastic. Just got exactly what I had in mind. And the mood board that she created at the beginning to like create the identity.
Yeah.
I sometimes just look at it because it makes me so happy, and because it's all those blues coming into it mixed with the beiges and the ivories, all those colors that just
it's so important to have a strong brand identity, isn't it?
Agreed. Yes, agreed. 100%.
Okay, so before you go, we're going to do a quick fire round, which I'm just going to go for and come up with on the spot.
Okay. Yes.
So what is your number one wellness tip?
Number one, lymphatic drainage massage.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. And apart from what is your number one item in your wardrobe that you would be devastated if someone took it away?
The Celine coat that I sourced for Rosie, and that really set off my entire career. It's old Celine. It's my forever piece. It's to the point that I think I may frame it one day.
What's it called?
The style, it's called, they call it it's an original style name, but it's the one that has all the letters, the grey and has all the letters. Yes. It's like a blanket coat.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you mean. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I would say best piece of advice would be rejection is redirection, and to not give up when you hear a no, just keep going for that yes.
That's a really good one. And what's your favorite book that you've ever read that really helped you?
My favorite book that I've ever read, The Artist's Way, is what I'm reading at present, so it's fresh off my mind. I received that recommendation through Diana Cohen, who's Crown Affair. So that's it's an incredible book. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
Yes, I know exactly which one you mean.
I love it.
Okay, that's a good one. And what about your favorite podcast?
A favorite podcast?
Oh, that can be a few.
Yes, I love listening to you. I love your voice. Your energy is so soothing and lovely.
Thank you. That's it. I feel the same way about you, honestly. We all loved you when you came in yesterday. I know, we were talking about you all night. Like, Gab is the best.
That's so nice. Thank you. So I love yours. Thank you. Then I love Skinny Confidential. I love
They
Lauren.
Are the best, aren't they? So good.
So many good tips. It's fantastic to listen to.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This was so fun. And where can everyone find you?
So my personal is Gab Waller, Waller, because my accent is always,
I love
there's no A. And then gabwaller.com is the business.
And the new business is Sourced By.
That's right.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.